Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. So today let's have a closer look at how the chain lightning bump combo works. And yeah, as of now, it's Daikokuten and then Gabriel, the only two people that have the bump combo. But with the release of Gabriel, that bump combo is going to get a lot more attention. So I thought I would have a look at that today. And then a lot of what I'm going to say in this video is not really necessary for most players. You can use that Chain Lightning bump combo just kind of casually, you know, without putting a lot of thought into it, and it will still do great work for you. But in the specific cases when you wanted to get a lot of extra damage out of it, then this video could be useful for you. And then, yeah, the way that the Chain Lightning is going to work most days, most times, is it's going to be really good for taking out little guys, mobs around the map, so you can clear out the field and then do more damage to the boss with other attacks. But kind of the main topic of this video is how to use the Chain Lightning so that it does really good damage to the boss as well, like strike shot level damage to the boss. And then this is kind of more for like advanced players, because it does take more kind of time and setup and positioning and all that to get it working. And it's not super necessary in many cases, but for those interested, I think this would be interesting for you. Okay, so I did talk about this in the review of Gabriel Evolution, but the way that Chain Lightning works is that it shoots out, much like a lock-on one-way laser, towards the nearest enemy, and then towards the center point of that enemy. And so it'll go to that enemy, and then once it's there, it'll do, you know, that beginning level of damage. For Gabriel, it's about 200,000. And then it will move on to the next closest target, the center of that next closest target, and then do a fraction of that amount of damage. And then it'll keep on going until it runs out of targets. And yeah, the Chain Lightning will never go over the same target twice. So once it goes to a target and does damage to that, it kind of eliminates that from future targets, and will keep going until all the targets are hit that can be hit within that hit range. And then it will stop. And it will do successively less and less damage each time. So let's have a look at how that works here. And then I played Da Vinci a little bit yesterday, and I brought Gabriel in there. So I have a bunch of runs of Gabriel or Da Vinci queued up, so we can look at her in there. So yeah, here we have Gabriel, and she should be just close enough to that laser robot to hit him with the Chain Lightning. And then kind of the distance that you can be away from a target is maybe 2 ball art lengths away, or 1.5. So yeah, let's watch that, and then let's watch how the Chain Lightning travels, and then how much damage it does to each character. Alright, we'll hit him with Takayasha. Okay, so there we saw... yeah, it hit the first guy, did that full damage, and then went around and then hit all the rest of the guys, doing less damage. The big guys, the Satisfactions, they have a like a multiplier. Direct attacks do more damage to them, so they're not very accurate to look at. But let's watch that one more time. We'll pay special attention to the 2 laser robots and the ninja, how much damage they take. Okay, so yeah, the first laser robot took the full damage, and then it went to the Satisfaction, did less damage, but then with a multiplier. Came down to the ninja, and then it did less damage than that, and then went to the laser robot and did even less damage to that. So yeah, that's how Chain Lightning is going to work most of the time. However, if we were to use the Chain Lightning against a boss, and specifically a boss with shields around it, that kind of changes everything. So let's go ahead to... Okay, so here we are at the first boss stage of Da Vinci, and Da Vinci is surrounded by shields. And it is when a boss is surrounded by shields or drones that we are able to do that kind of extra damage with the Chain Lightning Bump combo. So there we see that the shield on the left, it is right next to the boss's weak point. And this is key. Usually the Chain Lightning doesn't get any multipliers. It's a non-elemental attack, so it doesn't get elemental multipliers. And then it also hits the very center of a character's hit area. And then most of a boss's weak points are around the outside of the hit area. And so typically the Chain Lightning would never hit the boss's weak point, and so never be multiplied. However, in this case, with the shield right over the boss's weak point, those hit areas are overlapping. And yeah, I did say this in the Gabriel Evolution review, but when you hit one character with the Chain Lightning, and say it does the 200,000 damage, every character that is overlapping will also take that same amount of damage. So here, when that left shield takes the Chain Lightning damage, it will go into the boss as well. And what's more, it'll go into the weak point of the boss, which usually doesn't happen. And so, whatever damage is done to the shield on that first hit is going to be tripled when it goes into the boss. So let's watch what happens here. We're going to use Uriel. We're going to hit Daikokten. Daikokten is going to shoot the Chain Lightning at the nearest target, which is that shield on the left here, and so do that full damage to the shield, and then that damage will be tripled when it goes into Da Vinci. Alright, hope that all makes sense. We'll watch that here. Okay, here comes Uriel. Okay, so there we saw it did about 150,000 to the shield, and that's including, and then some hits from Uriel get it more damage. But that damage was tripled when it went into Da Vinci because of the weak point. So that's why we see so much more damage in Da Vinci than in that shield. So let's watch that one more time. Alright, so Uriel comes around, hits Daikokten, and the damage is multiplied many times into Da Vinci. Alright, so that is the premise of this kind of advanced technique to get extra damage into the boss using the Chain Lightning, when usually it wouldn't be possible since the weak point is on the outside of the boss. Alright, so let's watch one more instance of Daikokten doing that same thing. Okay, so here we have a very similar situation. This is the first boss stage of Da Vinci again. And then we look at where Daikokten is, and then their nearest target is that shield on Da Vinci's right. And it also happens that happens to be that the weak point is also near that shield on the right. And so when Daikokten's Chain Lightning goes to that shield, it will overlap with the boss's weak point, and so do triple damage. So let's watch that. Okay, so pretty much the same thing there. Let's watch that one more time. Alright, very good. Okay, and then I have an instance where the hit in the boss's weak point is not the first Chain Lightning hit. And so it'll still be tripled, of course, that damage, but since the damage per Chain Lightning hit goes down, it will be less damage overall. So let's see what happens here. As we saw with Uriel, she came down, she hit Gabriel, and then the Chain Lightning hit the shield first at the bottom there. And yeah, the boss still takes damage from that hit in the shield down there, but it's not multiplied at all because there's no weak point. And then the next closest target is Da Vinci herself, so we see that go into her. And then it goes to the left there, hits that boss's weak point, and so it does triple damage there. But by the time the Chain Lightning gets to there, it's already on the third hit, and so it's doing less damage overall. And so the total damage is not as much as like those hits that we've seen in Daikokuten earlier. Let's watch that one more time. Okay, so yeah. First shield, Da Vinci, second shield, and then there it gets the multiplier. But still not as much damage as the previous instances that we saw. Okay, so we'll watch one more example, and then this is the best example of how to get a lot of damage out of this bump combo. Let's see where that is. Okay, so last stage. Here we see Gabriel near the boss, and then her closest target is that shield on the left there with the weak point. So we will hit her, and then the Chain Lightning should go into there and then do triple damage there. And then because Gabriel is a blast type, we're going to see a lot of extra damage, more than Daikokuten. Okay, here comes Takayasha. We'll try to hit just Gabriel. Okay, so yeah, there we got a lot more damage out of that Chain Lightning. Almost 1,000,000 damage. So let's watch that one more time. Okay, so that is how to get kind of extra damage out of the Chain Lightning while using shields that are around a boss's weak point. And yeah, this isn't, you know, the most versatile technique, and this is not how most of us are going to be using the Chain Lightning bump combo most of the time. But in instances where it is a possibility, this is a very, very good technique to have. And then maybe the most practical use that I can think of now is the Water Time Trial Temple. Because in that stage, there are lots and lots of shields, and then many of them are around the boss of Okita Soji there. And so if you bring in Gabriel as your helper, she can really help you get through that stage pretty easily and pretty quickly, and then also get you lots of able berries in the meantime as well. And then, yeah, later on in the next Colossal Quest, the Water Colossal Quest, there will be like enemies and bosses where their weak point is in the center of them. And then in that case, the Chain Lightning is going to get that triple multiplier there. So it'll come in very handy there, which is why the evolution version of Gabriel is very recommended for that mission. Okay, well, I hope that was interesting and possibly helpful. And yeah, have fun with Chain Lightning. We'll see you again. Take care.